It's interesting that so much of our election cycle, this year in particular, the last few months, but really for the last several years, has focused more on the personality of Trump than on the actual policies of Trump as he's discussed them and as they actually played out in the context of the term that he had in office. COVID messed up a lot of things when it comes to analyzing how Trump actually did versus how Biden has actually done. But the central issue now is that we have, it appears to me, several misrepresentations of what Trump is doing and why he is doing it, not helped by his tendency to chase rabbits and meander around a question until he finally gets back to the point that the question is addressing. But it is, in fact, an issue that he has policies that people may or may not like, but it's overshadowed by his personality. When it comes to Vice President Harris, one of the things that the interview on Fox News with Brett Baier highlighted was that if she has policies, it appears that they have changed from previous policies based on news clips and what others have said, but getting her to actually commit to what her position is, what her policy is difficult, if not impossible. Her continued repetition of she's going to commit to following the law is an absolutely pointless claim. The assumption is that all of our government leaders are going to follow the law, and when they do not follow the law, then there are remedies in place to try to address them and hold them accountable for failing to follow the law. But when it comes to the president's role in directing the party and what the policies, the general policies are, or the specific policies in certain instances are, uh, Vice President Harris's failure to actually address those questions and state unequivocally where she's at and why she holds the positions she holds makes it difficult to understand how anybody can vote for her in the context of policy. Voting for her in the context of personality, I like her, she's a woman, I don't like Trump, he's a male, is a problem because the President of the United States is serving in a policy role, not in a personality role. The degree to which former President Trump does things in ways that people do not appreciate is perhaps best understood by, in the context of politics, by looking at what in fact he did for the 4 years in office and to actually listen to his explanation for why he holds the policy view he holds and then debate those issues. When it comes to Harris, again, that seems to be impossible because she is unwilling to state unequivocally what she stands for, why she stands for what she stands for. I keep hearing references to her bringing in people, Republicans and business people, et cetera, to get ideas from, and that's fine. The problem is she needs to have clearly stated for the American people what her ideas are so we can vote on whether we think she's even starting in the right place, let alone going from where she's at to where the law ends up being as she listens to people and guides her party in the direction that they decide they ought to go should she be elected president. So, anyway, I just find it interesting that we are voting, many of us, for the president of the United States, not based on policy, but on personality and on particular issues that may or may not be accurately represented by the mainstream media or the different partisan media outlets. And we need to have a better way of coming together to discuss things, such as is represented in the two-way podcast. And I'll put a link to one of them below if you're not familiar with it, where it appears that there is an honest effort to discuss issues and clarify where people stand from different perspectives. Thank you all very much. Look forward to hearing what you have to say. Thank you very much for your time. I've got a couple other videos listed here if you'd like to take a look at those. And as I'd like to discuss issues related to politics, religion, society, and how in the world we're supposed to understand ourselves and life in the world. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Bye bye.